Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast featuring your host Superfly and Danny Daybars Open. What's good?
What's good, man? Back in Colville, USA, aka South Florida. Made it back safe, bro. Dude, that drive is getting worse and worse. I think I got one more drive in me, and then I'm done with that shit for like the next
Nice.
10 years, bro.
There's no traffic though, right?
No, that's the thing, bro. Like, so the first time I did it was right when like everything started shutting down, so I could do it in like 14, 15 hours. Now, because of traffic, once I hit the major cities, which is like I hit just from South Florida to New York, you hit like Virginia, Atlanta, like you hit those major cities, bro. Traffic is like bumper to bumper on the highway. So we're just fucking stuck, and we're like, wow, we still have 9 hours left. Like, you know what I mean? So, bro, yeah. So it took me exactly 18 hours this time. Started at 11 a.m. Walked into my apartment at 8 a.m. the next day. So yeah, bro, just awful in every fucking way.
Yeah.
But glad to be here, glad to be safe. There was definitely, when I walked into my apartment though, there definitely was a feeling like, I'm in my own space, right? Because obviously, even though like my girlfriend's family is great, my aunt is fucking the greatest person in the world. You at some point you remember, this is not my house. Like, I gotta remember to pick this up, or how do you want me to do this? So like, it was nice. So like, you know what? I ain't doing laundry today. I'm not cleaning shit. Let's just fucking
the bathroom.
Dude, yeah, exactly. I'm not worried about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, have you ever done that where you just like, that's happened to me twice for whatever reason, bro. I clogged someone's toilet like within the first 24 hours of being there. I'm like, so your toilet's fucked up.
I have the worst luck when it comes to that shit. It's like always the first time I'm go to someone's house and I end up clogging the toilet, breaking some shit. I remember I did that to my uncle's house. He's more so like a family friend, but we call him uncle.
Yeah, you're that close,
Yeah, and it was in Texas at his house, and I clogged the toilet, and it fucking flooded the house.
Yo, dude,
I don't know how much he had to repair, but that shit fucked up everything, and I felt bad. Like, I couldn't do anything.
Bro, I visited. So I went with one of my good friends to visit his good friend in Baltimore. So like, I don't even know this dude. We pull up to his fucking penthouse apartment on the water, and I just fucking wake up with the bubble guts, go to his bathroom, and dude, like I obviously did my business, and then as I'm leaving, I just hear, bloop, and I'm just like, yo, this is not happening, bro. Like, this is not happening. So like, I run to him, I'm like, yo, Jason, something's wrong with your toilet. And then you say that as if like he knows. I'm like, clearly it was you who fucked up, and I'm just like, bro, like, what do you need from me? And he's like, nah, bro, don't worry about it. But I'm like, bro, if it was me, I'd be fucking furious. So it's like, bro, like, tell me what I did wrong. So
no, you gotta keep like some of those doggy bags or something with you, just to prevent you from ever having the chance to fuck up somebody's place.
Dude, but what's the funny thing is that like, that's a real thing. So my aunt, which I hate, I would never do this, but it kind of makes sense. Like, those people who don't allow you to flush toilet paper down the drains, like, they have like a separate garbage. Yeah, dude. Like,
hell no, I've never seen that.
And I would never do that, period, because I'm like, yo, you legit have shit in your bathroom, but they have like a separate garbage bag that's just meant for like the toilet paper you use, and they throw that out every single day.
But won't it still smell like complete shit the day of?
I don't think, you still flush the shit, you just don't flush the toilet paper, because the paper is like concocted.
But I feel like the paper will smell funky as fuck.
Yeah, but I think like, I don't know, bro, but like, it doesn't smell they do a good job. It doesn't smell. Nice. But I was like, bro, like, you're just leaving, like, literally, in my mind, like, shit's just here. Like, I'm just brushing shit's just here.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But, as you know, obviously, the elephant in the room, the same thing happened to me at your fucking house when I, like, fucking broke your bathroom. I'm just like, girl, this is not happening, bro. Like, this is like, I'm like, yo, he's not even here. Like, I gotta go to his mom and shit. Yeah, oh, my God, that was still, like, that was, like, the best hour of my life, like, trying to figure out, bro, what do I do?
The worst part is I was like, oh, don't worry, it'll probably get fixed like in a week or two. It didn't get fixed until I moved out. Like, the day I moved out.
3 months later.
Yeah. The day I moved out, my mom fixed it.
Oh my God, dude. Because like, the worst part was like, tell me it was the case still. Damn, that actually made me laugh so hard. But like, she's like, all right, like, well, she was telling me that you had to like then turn the entire water of the house off, like, just to make sure it didn't fucking flood that bathroom. Did that keep happening afterwards, or was that part fixed?
To be honest, I don't know. I just used I used the shower upstairs. So I don't think she had to do anything. It was just weird. The fucking, I think it was just literally the knob or whatever had to be screwed back on, but for some reason they couldn't find.
It was the most impossible fucking piece of find in the world. Like your uncle was like, "Man, how did you do this?" I was like, "Bro, I don't know. I'm just trying to take a shower, bro. Like I don't know what's happening." So how's life been on your end?
Life's been good. I don't know. I feel like
opening up. Are you guys in phase -1 right now? Like what's going on in fucking California?
I have no idea. I hear mixed news like every other day. Some days I see people at the beach and shit, and other days motherfuckers are complaining they can't like go to any restaurants or bars and do anything. So right now it's not looking optimistic. I'm going to Joshua Tree this weekend. I think I mentioned that before. So looking forward to that. It's just gonna be like 8 of us. A couple of my brothers, some of their friends, my friend's girl. So we're just gonna hang out, drink, party, karaoke, anything but fucking sit at home and do work, which is what.
Is there gonna be a pool or no?
There's a jacuzzi. It's hot as shit out there right now. It's like 100 degrees.
I feel like it's hot everywhere right now, bro. Like this shit is wild.
Yeah, it's hot as hell. But I've been trying to find a functioning jacuzzi this entire year, and for whatever reason, every Airbnb doesn't have a functioning jacuzzi. I guess it costs too much to maintain or something. But this one will have it, so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm sure when it gets cold at night, it'll probably be dope stuff in. Nice, man. That'll be good. I ain't got shit going on right now, but yeah, I had a great time in New York, New Jersey, so that was I'm definitely happy I did that. But yeah, it's good to be back in my own space. But bro, we got a lot of shit to get into in this episode because I feel like Rona is not the only thing happening right now. So this is episode 38. We went with the Sunken place because I didn't even think we were going to talk about Kanye when the week turned, and it's only fucking Tuesday. But obviously Kanye is like at the top of everyone's mind right now. So he had his rally in South Carolina trying to be put on the ballot, even though literally like I think 5 days ago he told people he's not running for presidency, and then it's like, oh, but I am. It's like, bro, what is happening? So I mentioned this before in other episodes where like I grew up in India, bro, so like I don't know the full story of Black history. Like obviously other people who grew up here, and obviously someone who is like of that. So dude, give the people the actual context of what the fuck he said about the Harriet Tubman freeing the slaves and what like actually happened. Because obviously like I know the overall like gist of it, but like what's the actual? Because obviously people were rightly fucking outraged by what the fuck he said.
I mean, first off, I will say that history, at least education within the U.S. as it pertains to Black history, is awful.
You really don't learn anything, right?
You don't really learn anything. They handpick like 3 or 4 individuals and they just hammer that in your head over and over. Like I think we mentioned before, like George Washington Carver. Wait, was it you or my brother?
Yeah, the peanut butter?
Yeah, I'm like, this motherfucker invented peanuts or peanut butter, and that's like one of the greatest inventions that they could come up with, which is amazing. I'm allergic to the shit, so it doesn't help me, but there's so many other great Black figures within history that the average person in America has no idea about. You have to seek all this information, which is fine, but then what's the point of school if we learn nothing?
Everything online,
I think Kanye said Harriet Tubman didn't actually free the slaves. She turned them over to the white oppressors or something along those lines.
He was like, well, she didn't actually free the slaves. She just moved them over to other white people to work for.
Yeah. Essentially, that's what he said. Obviously, people were pissed off because they're saying that's not true, and that she was worthy of being credited for far more than that. I did see a rebuttal recently, though, from this rapper NLE Choppa. He said what Kanye was really trying to say, it kind of stems back to that whole, what did he say? I think it was last year. He said something along the lines of, we were slaves ourselves, or we enslaved ourselves, or something along those lines. He was basically saying what Kanye was really trying to say is, even though she freed the slaves, in actuality they weren't free. They were still slaves to the system and getting arrested for doing this and that, and still under the white man's control, so not really free. Which it makes sense if you think of it that way, but I don't know if Kanye was really getting that deep and purposely trying to make it confusing.
It's hard to know when he's being like super woke or just super like extreme.
Right.
But that's a tough part, right? So from what I've learned is that they were freed, but if there's no plan for them, like obviously the job they're going to end up doing is going to work at someone's house, right? Like, all right, like no one's offering jobs to black people. There's no like school grants being given out to go get an education. So you inevitably like you go from the field to being in the house, like just helping out as like almost like a servant, right? That's kind of like what happened.
Yeah, essentially. And like my brother was telling me, like pretty soon after the slaves were freed, essentially, you would get, I forget what the exact term is, but essentially loitering. You could get arrested for loitering. So black men would just be, fucking hanging around or homeless or whatever, and they would just get arrested, obviously put in jail. I think we talked about the police being invented literally to keep the free slave police system invented to keep the slaves or freed slaves in check, and put them back in jail where it's essentially slave labor was legalized. So it's just like a revolving door of, hey, we're gonna make you think you're free, but we're gonna have all these loopholes to fucking force you to work for us and under our control, and it's technically gonna be in compliance with the law or whatever.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to believe that if he was that deep, bro, and this is why I think it's very dangerous when we don't want an actual trained politician to be in office, because there's a way you have to be able to convey your thoughts, right? I can't be like watching you speak and trying to decipher what the fuck you just said. Right? This isn't like, I don't need some like double entendre Jay-Z rhyme that I'm going to understand 15 years later. Like, yo, if you want my vote, I need to perfectly understand what you're trying to convey. And it's funny because like you think of a Kanye rhyme, like it's pretty like, it's clever, but it's clear. So like, bro, if you're trying to hit me with some like double entendre hitting meaning shit, like, bro, like I don't have time for that, bro. Especially when you're trying to join the fucking race at the fucking end, you don't have time to fucking be, what the fuck do you stand for, bro? And it just felt like from the clips we saw, like, dude, he seemed like he was in a fucking manic moment. Like, he legit burst out in tears, talking about, like, what was it? Abortion, how his mom saved him from his dad, trying to have the abortion, and how, like, Kim didn't want to have an abortion with their first child. Like, again, these are all very, strong statements. Bro, it's just not being delivered in a way that's clear and concise. And bro, he legit looked like he was going through a fucking stage of depression, anxiety, and fearfulness that was like, bro, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I took it initially, at least.
Yeah, same. And on that note, I agree that if he was really being that deep, he should cut the bullshit and just say exactly what it means. It was uncomfortable for me to watch. I feel like all the other instances I was just like, oh, it's Kanye being Kanye, but this time it was the first time where I was like, okay, he seems just kind of wacky and like he needs some sort of guidance or help. And I think it was kind of weird that he went on this long-winded emotional tangent about his daughter and him potentially being aborted and stuff, all just to make the case of
how he supports abortion.
How
he doesn't support it.
How he doesn't support it. And then I think he was talking about guns. I forget if he made any valid excuses. I think he may have had some, but then he went on this weird tangent about like how fun they are to shoot and shit, as opposed to talking about like why they might be necessary or not. Like, it's just really weird. It was almost like someone just grabbed the microphone and was like, let me tell you about all my political opinions, but take 4 hours to tell you 2 policies that I agree with.
Dude, but if you think about it, we shouldn't be surprised by this for a multitude of reasons. But like, if you go back 6 years, or I think 6 or 5 years to that MTV moment he had, bro, he never had a clear sentence. It was like, literally, it was like, yo, bro, and then just pause.
Oh, the one where he said, listen to the kids or whatever?
Yeah, listen to the kids. Like,
yeah.
No, that was fucking the most incoherent thing. But at the moment, you're like, damn, Kanye, speak that shit. I'm like, bro, what is he even saying? Let's take a step back. I know it's cool. It's at that point, like, Kanye wasn't really out there. I don't think Life of Pablo happened yet, so it wasn't really that strategic, like that. Well, not strategic, but that tangent where he was like legit losing his mind at some of these concerts. Yeah. So like I was like, oh, this is a different version of Kanye. But bro, even at that MTV VMA thing, like, bro, he was extremely incoherent and like wasn't saying anything for fucking 15 minutes.
But I feel like people gave him a pass then because it was like kind of the first time he did it. 100%. And then we thought it was just like a teaser, like, okay, it doesn't make sense now, but he's just saying shit, and he'll give us the real deal later. And then he went on more tangents and said more incoherent shit. And then now we're finally hearing, and a lot of the people who gave him the benefit of the doubt, I think, are starting to realize, like, even if he does have some points, like, he's just far too unstable. Like the recent tweets and stuff, like, I was kind of at one point on board with at least giving Kanye a platform and seeing what he has to say. But now with all the tweets and shit, I'm like, this is literally going to be Trump 2.0, except maybe worse in a lot of ways. Like, at least Trump can, like, be calm and shit, like, on stage. But I feel like Kanye will be that plus, like, the Twitter, unstable, emotional, like, stuff added to the mix, which I don't think we have any time for, especially in this day and age with everything going on.
So, bro, the Twitter rants is obviously part 2 of this conversation, which was like, dude, it was like an hour and a half of him just going off on his family, blah, blah, blah. But, dude, so, like, I have a couple points I want to discuss. So, one, do you think this is all just a marketing ploy because he just signed the Gap deal, so to bring more hype to that? 2, he's dropping an album, I think, this Friday. So, the Donda album, right, which came out of nowhere. And I feel like always around his album releases, there's something massive that he's doing, which is fucking super outlandish, right?
Yeah.
And is this just like a poor man's version or a bigger version of, like, think about when 50 Cent really wasn't putting out great music anymore, to his standards at least, and he just reverted to, like, all right, who can I start beef with right now to kind of stir up controversy, right? So, like, is this Kanye just like, yo, how can I do some fucking crazy ass shit so people are just talking about me, and then when my album drops, they're gonna go streaming like crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I think possibly, but I also feel like he's such a megastar, like, he doesn't have to do this. And one thing, I'm obviously no doctor, but my brother mentioned that I think when people have these manic bipolar episodes, a lot of it's triggered by them I guess maybe accomplishing something, or just being in a really creative space, and they kind of feel like they can do anything. So I wonder if it just correlates with him, like, you know, making these deals and finishing albums, and he's like, fuck it, I'm on this, like, creative high, let me take it a step further and now, like, say a bunch of shit that's on my mind, you know, try to shoot for the stars and do this and that too. And just, I wonder if that cycle contributes to his episodes of, like, oh, I just did something great, now I can take it a step further. But it's obviously nothing, it's obviously ridiculous as far as what his next level aspiration is.
That's a good point, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it could be both, bro. Like, that's the thing. Like, we never know. Like, that's the genius and scary part about this. Like, we'll never know. We'll just, you have to deal with the results, right? But then, like, the fearful thing is, like, you don't want to fucking roast him and, like, destroy him when, like, he may legit, like you said, just be going through, like, the worst kind of anxiety, depression he's ever experienced, like, by being bipolar. And then, God forbid, something happens, and, like, tomorrow we're like, damn, we lost a genius, you know, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, man, I definitely pray for him. And the second point I want to talk about, bro, is the Kardashian aspect to this, right?
Yeah.
So, how much of involvement do you think they play in this? And then, do you think this is, like, as a whole, that family, do you consider them culture vultures in any way? And just because I've heard a lot of people say, especially, like, black women, voice this much, and I get it, right? Like there's like always that thing that like black men prefer to be with white women, blah blah blah. But like, bro, like, dude, all those females except Courtney are with black dudes. You know what I mean? And like that may be a great coincidence, but do you think it's them using like whatever black athlete, black artist, black celebrity to take some of their clout and like on some like sick level, bro, reproduce these fucking gorgeous halfsies that like might be in style, right? Because like they always look at the light skins a little bit better, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like just some kind of sick way to like fucking use that to their advantage, and then like use and abuse these guys to the fucking side. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, how do you fucking view all that shit?
I mean, I would say just looking at Kim K's history, I feel like she was kind of always into the black dudes. So I don't know if it necessarily started out that way. Like, I don't think at that time Kris Jenner was like plotting on having her fuck with black dudes, and then, it just became this fad. But
yeah,
I feel like they just hang around the same circles, and it happens to be like these rapper types. And I'm sure Kris Jenner's nudging them like, yo, like, I see you're hanging out with Travis or whatever. He's got a lot going on. Like, I think it would be really good for you. I don't know if she's necessarily like, oh, you have to get in like with these black people, like they're doing this and that, and like your babies are gonna look like this. I don't know.
Dude, but she's an evil fucking genius, bro. I feel like if anyone's thinking like that, I feel like it might be them. Like,
yeah. I mean, I feel like she's more so handpicking the pop culture icons, and they happen to be black, as opposed to.
So like that's my point though. It's like, isn't that hence like a form of like just taking what you want from the culture to your benefit, right? Like, all right, I need my family, which is all like Armenian white, to be with the best that's happened, and that best happens to be like, I don't know, it's like just using black people to just further move up the clout ladder, and expand their fucking $1 billion empire.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely exploiting the culture. I don't know how directly or indirectly, but I'm sure there's a lot of intentional like matchmaking and shit that takes place, and they probably know that a lot of these rappers and stuff idolize the white women or the white looking women, especially that family, and it's an easier target to suck in like a Travis or whatever, as opposed to I don't know what white pop icon you would think of. But I feel like they definitely know what they're doing behind the scenes. But when it comes to like this Kanye stuff specifically, that part is tricky to say, because he called them out, but I just don't know to what degree Kris Jenner and them are like having him make moves. It's just really tricky to me to think about, because I'm like, they have everything they could possibly fucking want. Like, what more could they be wanting out of this whole situation, unless they do want him to win the presidency and Kim to be the first lady and all that shit. That's like the only like missing piece I could see Kris Jenner wanting to actively make happen. Otherwise, I'm like, what else is there at this point?
Yeah, dude, like, but then I wonder, like, again, but is it like, yeah, like, I know he called them out, but like, is he just calling them out as some part of another mega marketing plan that, Kris and Kim are like, like, call us out, like, tell them, like, like, I wonder, like, they're calling them out, but like, is this still some like puppet mastery from like Kim, like Kris and Kim in the background, like, I don't know, bro, like, again,
that's like
we're lying
conspiracy
to ourselves.
Territory, I feel like.
No, it is for sure, but I feel like, dude, like, but also if you go back to Lamar Odom with Chloe, like, people say that, like, yo, they wanted Lamar to fucking go off the rails, so, like, Chloe can be look at the person who fucking tried to save this black, you know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of things, bro. Like, again, it's just weird when a family comes to power like that. Like how much of this shit is actually true, and how much this is part of fucking another storyline in a reality TV show that will make for good TV when they air, Keeping Up with the Kardashians season 89 or some shit, right? You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know if this is just some part of a fucking reality TV show and it's just airing it now on national TV a couple months early. But then the point I wanted to fucking make a second ago, we're lying to ourselves if we didn't see some kind of version of this of Kanye like 10 years ago, bro. Like, remember, like, he was the one who showed up to the fucking I think the Grammys or VMAs fucking wasted with literally a bottle of Hennessy in his hand, and then just came on stage and fucking shitted on Taylor Swift for like no apparent reason. You know what I mean? So like, there's always been this version of Kanye somewhat. Like I do believe he has bipolar disorder. I do believe he has these manic attacks, but I just wonder if it's that plus a combination of like evil marketing genius behind it that's making it this fucking like massive right now, bro. Because dude, this is literally like leading news right now, which is fucking wild, right? We have way more important shit to worry about. Obviously, the health of any human being is important, but in the context, fucking people are dying every day from corona. Dude, we don't know who the fuck is gonna be our president. Like, what the fuck is going? You know what I mean? So like, and it's just wild. This is leading news right now. When in a perfect world, I don't even think Kanye from 10 years ago would want this to be leading news.
Yeah. The sad thing is, I feel like I won't, and the public won't really take much of this seriously unless he like almost dies or actually dies. Otherwise, for now, I think the vast majority of people are either on side A, he's bluffing and doing this all to sell albums, and then the other side's like, he needs help, he's just full of himself, and someone needs to tell him to calm down. But then there's the people in the middle who might think like, oh, he's actually gonna die. And I feel like
I don't even know what side I'm on right now. I'm more so on the side he may be being controlled by the puppet strings of Kris Jenner, but I'm on the side of like, even with that, I still think he needs help. Like, I genuinely think he needs, like, I feel like there's again, and I'm never like those people against like medicine to balance you out. You know what I mean? Like, cause just some people are born with fucking, their shit just, haywire, which is fine. There's medication to fucking straighten you out so you can go and be the best version of yourself. So, and there's like, I know he said a couple of times he doesn't like taking his medication. Yeah,
but then it's like, so yeah, I mean, I don't know what the best solution would be, because people are saying don't get on medication. Some people are saying get on it, but then he doesn't want to do it. And then after that, it's like, well, what do? He found God apparently, and then like that doesn't help. And it doesn't seem like he wants to listen to anybody. So I'm like, at this point, what can he, if you can't use the medicine to control him, and if medicine can have negative side effects, and the Lord or any religion can't save him, I don't know like what the solution is for somebody like that.
Yeah, but dude, as a Christian, like, there's like, the Lord can save you, but again, the Lord also invented these doctors who made these medicines that fucking help people in this situation. You know what I mean? So like, you can pray and see a therapist and, be on pharmaceutical drugs that are actually prescribed to you. I mean, I feel like those can still go hand in hand. And like a lot of people, like, it's a dangerous road. It's like, oh, you found God, you're good. It's like, bro, that doesn't change that, God made me this way, that I still need stuff to be better. So like, I don't know, man, it's tough. My position right now is like, bro, like, one, I don't need you running for presidency. Like, I think the country doesn't need you doing that. It's too much of a distraction. I think the rally in South Carolina put that to bed. I think a lot of people, obviously those people who were there to rally behind him. And it just seemed, I mean, from what we saw, that even the biggest Kanye fan in that room was like, nah, I'm good. Like, this isn't me. So hopefully that's to bed. And then I just hope, again, I'm sure the album will be fine. I'll check it out. But I just hope he gets whatever help he needs, bro. Like, I'm not one to cancel anyone. Definitely not cancel Kardashians. Like, I mean, again, kudos to them for figuring out a fucking glitch in the fucking Matrix and being so fucking successful without actually having a real talent. But I mean, my thing is, like, he needs help. Like, he needs help somewhere or somehow. It just seems that he needs someone to sit him down and, like, bro, what's going on, bro? Talk to me. Like, what's happening here? So, that's where I stand.
Same.
All right.
God bless us all.
Topic is, God bless Kanye. So what we thought we were gonna fucking leave the episode with going into the weekend was the Tory and Megan thing, which seems like fucking forever ago. In the context of all this Kanye news. So give the people an update on what happened and what we fucking know thus far on your boy, 5'3" Tory Lanez, according to his fucking license, and Megan Thee Stallion getting into an incident.
Damn, is he really that short?
According to his ID, it was
damn.
He's 5'3" or 5'4" and weighs like 125 pounds, something wild, bro.
Damn, he's got the confidence of a fucking lion. If that's the case.
If he's shooting females, I think he does it, bro. Like, I don't.
But apparently, they were
allegedly
they were hanging. Well, I think that it was proven that they were hanging out in the Hidden Hills with Kylie.
Yeah, dude, that's wild. That's a funny thing. It's funny how like the Kardashians are always like a part of it, but when shit goes left, they're never there.
Yeah, like except for when Kim K got robbed, like the one instance.
Allegedly.
Yeah, even that might be fake.
And that was conveniently during the Life of Pablo album drop. So again, that might be allegedly.
But yeah, they were kicking it, and I guess they were in a vehicle, and an argument broke out between God knows who, and after the situation, some shots rang out, and lo and behold, fucking Megan Thee Stallion's foot has some holes in it from bullet wounds, and I think she had told the cops when they arrived that like she stepped on glass or some shit, try to like play it off. But when the story first came out, I think people had assumed that there was another shooter in the vicinity or something that tried to hurt her, but then come to find out it was actually Tory, who was drunk, and we don't know if he intentionally shot her or what, but apparently he's the one who shot her. He got arrested for possessing like a concealed weapon or something, and I haven't heard shit from him since. But
no. He's not coming out. His statement's going to be very well, lawyers writing it. Yeah, he's not saying shit for a minute, bro.
But she definitely had statements come out saying somebody tried to inflict harm on her. She didn't state any names or anything. She's like, just like, someone tried to inflict harm on me, and I will handle the situation essentially as needed. I think her DJ was vocal about it, saying Tory wasn't there to protect her or something, kind of alluding to the fact that either he didn't do anything to help or he was the one who actually did this. He seemed very disappointed and angry with Tory.
Yeah, dude. So 100%. I think he deleted the tweet, but then fucking retweeted something like the next like hour, like, yo, we're gonna like, if we catch you outside, you know what time it is, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Bro, but so what do you think this does to Tory's fucking career, my guy? Like, this is like, but what's crazy to me, and I know quarantine lockdown's not over, but no one was higher at the beginning of lockdown quarantine than Tory Lanez, bro. Like, he was the biggest thing in fucking all of lockdown. Right. And then fast forward 4 months, like, he may be done. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, that's the crazy thing, bro. So, like, what do you think happens to his fucking career from this? Like,
I think it really depends on.
Does it depend on what happens? Like, if he gets
it depends on that. Not only that, but like how they shape the story and come out with the narrative of what took place. Like, if it turns out he was legitimately trying to kill her, and they prove that, and that's what is mentioned even by Meg herself, then I think he's fucked, for sure. Like, no one's gonna want to fuck him. Like, people don't like men that abuse women, but try to fucking kill them too. Like, that's a whole different level of despicable. So
is it trying to kill someone when you fucking shoot them in the foot?
Yeah, but I think it'll be similar. Well, maybe not trying to kill, but that's definitely worse than like punching a chick or slapping a chick.
Yeah. Because like we were talking about this on the episodes a while ago, like, Chris Brown still looked a certain way, right? Like, I think he's still back on top, and like people fuck with Chris Brown heavy now. Yeah. But he still looked a certain way, right? So
yeah, I mean, he'll still have a career. It just won't be. I don't think it'll be, people freely working with him as much as he is now. Like, this motherfucker does features for everybody on the planet.
Dude, he has him and Jack Harlow have the #2 fucking song in the country, bro. Like, dude, that's why you're locked up while you're #2 on the fucking charts. Like,
yeah,
bro. Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I really think this needs to come out. Like, it was. I think the only person that can save him, and obviously shout out to Megan. I hope she's like okay, recovering well. Like, that's way more important than what happens to his fucking career. But assuming that happens, I feel like the only person that can save him is her. Like, she comes out and says, there was a misunderstanding. He was fucking, like, we thought someone was approaching the car, and he, like, shot the gun by mistake on some, like, Cheddar Bob shit, and it happened to hit my foot. Like, that's, I think, the only thing that saves him, bro. Because, first of all, he might be locked up for fucking 10, 15 years if this shit goes, like, if she doesn't fucking say that shit. So I really think this all depends on what she says when she's like in court and like to the public.
Yeah. And it also might fuck with her too if she ends up quote unquote snitching on him, saying, oh, Tory was the one who shot me. I mean, I know women in particular get more passes with that because they're seen as like defenseless and and everything.
Oh yeah, I don't think
she's not claiming she's not claiming to be a blood or Crip or anything.
Yeah.
But if she does, I think some people might look at her sideways if, you know, she is on the stand. It's like, Tory did it. He tried to kill me. And if he gets sent away for a long time, some of her fan base is definitely going to be like, no, I can't fuck with you.
Dude, but what's funny is that I sent you the live or the video where it was like Tory, Kylie, and Megan in the pool. Like, and I'm like, yo, my man's living his best life. Yo, who's better than him? And then boom, 6 hours later. Like, I was like,
we were joking about it too. We're like, is there a better night you can imagine? Like, where else on the planet would you want to be than right there and then between both of them? And this motherfucker fucked it up. Did the unthinkable.
Yo, all the things of like, yo, how a night can go left. That shit went fucking left 10 times, bro. Like,
imagine going to hang out with them and in the back of your mind is like, yo, I might end up shooting one of these chicks in the foot.
Yo, in my mind, I'm like, yo, if I'm pulling up and this is the threesome, the biggest fear I have is like, yo, don't come too early. Like, that's like the only thing I'm worried about, bro. Like, shooting someone in the foot is the last thing on my mind.
Right? I don't know what he must have been trying to impress him or some shit. Some dumb shit.
Yeah, like, in my mind, I feel like, because they were trying to pull, again, this might be true, so we don't know. But like, yo, like, she was mad at him and trying to leave the car, and then he just shot her in the foot. And I'm like, bro, even the drunkest fucking dude knows you can't do that, bro. So yeah. I wonder if it was like someone was approaching the car in some aggressive shit, and he was trying to defend them, and then, because he's a fucking tiny, the gun probably weighs more than him, shot himself in the foot on some like dumb, reckless shit. Shot her in the foot. Because like, bro, like, how do you shoot a female? How do you shoot anyone over fucking trying to get out of your car? Like,
right.
That just seems like that part doesn't add up, bro. Like, I don't see how I'm arguing with you and it's like, all right, bitch, where you going now? Like, you know, lift your ass home. Like, what? Like,
how do you think this would have played out if he had shot Kylie allegedly on accident?
Death row. Like, yo, death row. Like, yo, within a day. Like, there's no way you survive any of this shit.
Yeah.
Like,
no, they would have just been like, Tory disappeared. We don't know where he's at.
Yeah. Tory's done, bro. Like, yeah, Tory's not making it fucking 24 hours after that shit, bro. Like, there's no way. You cannot fuck with a Kardashian or Jenner right now. Like, there's no way. But yeah. Your prayers to Megan, but yeah, let's pray for your boy as well, because it may be a wrap for him, bro.
Shit, it might have been like some sort of sick initiation for him to get inside the family somehow.
To what family?
To the Kardashian, they're like, yo, you gotta shoot.
You think so? Yo, end that bitch.
Like, yeah.
She's
you
getting.
Really want to be with him.
We can't have any black girls on top right now. We want only fucking white girls who are super tan on top. So like, damn, bro, that's again, the fact that me and you went back and forth for about like, damn, that'd be the best threesome ever. Cause you just have like both sides of it, right? Like literally, and then boom, you just fucking ruined it like 6 hours later. All right, man, let's get to like a couple more things before we get into like music and shit. Dude, so DMX and Snoop Dogg, not 50 Cent and T.I. for the verses, but dude, what do you think about just that catalog of music? And again, dude, they're fucking up, to me at least, doing this shit on a weekday, bro. This is some shit you do on a Saturday. Everyone's locked up right now anyway.
They're old heads.
Get
they don't
drunk.
Think about this shit.
Damn, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I would love to be with my boys drunk, watching this shit, hear fucking Ain't Nothing But a G thing, and think back to like I was 7 years old, like trying to hear this shit like illegally, like, you know what I mean? Like, that was the fucking vibe. But like, it is what it is, bro. So like, how do you think? Obviously, you're a West Coast guy. I'm an East Coast guy. I mean, DMX was probably like the real first like aggressive hip hop album I ever heard, because I was fucking like 7 when it came out, that first one. Because everything before that in New York was like very much like puffy and like, you know, like happy hip hop pop music. So, dude, all that shit slaps to me on a different level because it just resonated with me more. But how do you think the it's gonna go down? Yeah.
I mean, I have a sweet spot a sweet place in my heart for DMX's music as well. My brother one of my brothers was a huge fan of him, so I remember playing a lot of his tracks. But honestly, I mean, Snoop Dogg's catalog is infinite when it comes to like hits. DMX has classic like real hip hop shit, but I don't know if you can't compare in terms of like the amount of hits that Snoop has. Snoop has hits up his ass for days, and they're not the most lyrical by any means. But if we're talking about just straight battles, as far as people like being like, oh, I fuck with this one, that one, that one, that one. Snoop just has way too many, in my opinion.
Bigger catalog. Yeah, he's also been probably around for like an extra 10 years than DMX. Yeah. And then around longer as well, like on both ends, right? Because like I think he came out like 5 or 6 years before him, and then obviously at some point DMX just like went too crazy, and then Snoop was still putting out random albums like Pharrell and shit like that. Yeah. I know, bro. Like my thing is like they both have great production, right? So obviously DMX is all like Swiss Beats heavy, and then Snoop had Dre, and then had Pharrell. So like when the beats drop, like it's gonna be hard, bro, because I don't know, bro. Like for me, I think it's gonna be a very close battle. Because if Snoop goes too poppy, I can see how DMX come up on top, because his beats hit so hard that you're gonna be like, bro, I don't even want to listen to this pop shit right now. Like, give me that fucking DMX Rough Rider 2002 shit, right? So it's gonna be close, bro. Because like I went for so like the cool thing about Versus, they have first of all, Timbaland and Snoop and Swiss Beats are fucking breaking in this shit. So they just did a partnership with Apple and Beats Radio.
Yeah, I saw that.
So like they're streaming it on fucking Beats Radio, and then Apple's coming out with a playlist like leading up to it. So like I ran to the playlist yesterday, and bro, honestly, I kept skipping every single Snoop song because it was, at least the ones they curated were just very poppy, right? It was that Snoop from like 2005 onwards, right? So I was like, bro, if it's that Snoop, I can see DMX winning, because like that Snoop was like, dude, 35 years old, had like 6 kids, a married man. Like he's not trying to be aggressive, you know what I mean? So but yeah, dude, I'll be very intrigued to see how it goes down. But yeah, my biggest thing was like I really just wish it was on a fucking Friday night or Saturday, so like we can really enjoy this shit and not worry about logging on to work in the morning.
Yeah, I mean that'll be an interesting battle for sure. That's kind of like a similar argument to how I felt with T.I. and 50's catalog. But 50 Cent, I think, unlike DMX, had enough poppy material to balance his out, whereas DMX and Snoop are like almost complete opposite sides.
Yeah, they really are, bro. Like, yeah, because remember, like, young Snoop was gangsta Snoop. You know what I mean? Like, Murder Was a Case. Like, ain't nothing. Like, that was fucking, like, that was like kind of like parallel. But like at some point, like he just became very pop. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is not a bad thing, bro. Like he probably made way more money going pop than before. But just like I could see him playing "You're So Beautiful," and then like DMX dropping like "Where My Dog's At," and it's just like, bro, this is like
right. I mean, so I feel like Snoop. I mean, I haven't seen like DMX's recent performances. I don't know if the performance aspect will add to that element. I'm assuming it does have some sort of or add some sort of bias. Like if Snoop looks like he's just smoking weed and having fun and shit, whereas DMX like kind of still recovering from rehab and like not as into it and doesn't have as much energy and shit.
Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, it depends what the energy is, how drunk they get, because obviously Jada set the bar for how drunk you can get these fucking these things. But I think it'll be a good watch. It'll be a good listen as well when they come out with the final playlist. But yeah, I think I'm gonna edge towards DMX. It seems like you're edging towards Snoop a little bit.
Yep.
All right.
Should we put like a stack on it? Put a grand on it?
I'll Venmo you a fucking $20 for a drink if Snoop Dogg wins.
For a drink I can't get.
I mean, I'll figure it out for you, bro. I'll send it to Sarah. She'll make you a drink or something. And I guess the last thing before we jump into like releases and stuff like that. Thoughts on the idea of Drake going independent and the impact that will have on the overall music scheme? Because the reason why I bring it up, I guess there was like some talk and like Russ. We spoke about this last week.
Yeah.
And Russ was like, man, if this guy goes independent, he'll spend like max $40,000 for a song, considering like features, engineering, all that shit. But he'll end up making like $1 million a song a week or a day on some like wild shit, right? Because obviously Drake's numbers are already insane. And then this other guy, Steve Stout, obviously well-known fucking executive for Rockefeller and like literally everything in the music. And he's like, the industry, whoever signs Drake, if he doesn't go independent, is gonna give him the most money in the world, just so he doesn't set the precedent for that in the future. Because if he goes independent, he's saying that the music industry is over as we currently know it, because there'll be no reason for labels to even exist. So like, what are your thoughts on that whole like topic?
I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious if he goes independent, he'll just be even more of a fucking ridiculous millionaire than he is now. I guess the point I never really understood, and maybe because Russ didn't have time to really elaborate on it, was how it would disrupt the industry, which you kind of just answered now with people would realize there's no reason for labels, but I feel like that still hasn't been proven up until this point, because I know like Mac Miller and Chance were like the poster children of like going independent and stuff, but I feel like it's similar to anything else, whereas for some people it might make sense to be independent and others could use that help and make less money but be put on, and who like don't know how to market themselves and do all the shit that labels do. So I feel like it might encourage more people to go independent, but I don't know if it'll make labels like obsolete completely. And granted, I don't know every single thing that these labels have their hands in, but like I'm sure there's a lot of rappers and singers who wouldn't do well if they went independent, who like need these labels to thrive in some way.
Yeah, that's a good point, bro. Especially if you're like not most, man, but there's a good number of obviously hip hop come from like the struggle, right? So like if a label's dangling like, yo, we'll give you $1 million today, or you can go independent, and then you just hope that happens one day, right? Like, because you don't know what's gonna happen, right? And labels obviously in today's day and age are paying Apple Music, are paying Spotify, like, yo, make sure my artist is on that fucking Rap Caviar playlist. So yeah, I get it. There's like there's gonna be a 50-50 chance this shit fucking fails, but I do agree with the fact that like I could see Drake going independent just for the simple fact he's like remember we spoke about this like a couple weeks ago, like I think he was 10th on the Forbes list of like hip hop acts. And dude, to be fair, he's probably is the best and most popular rapper on that list. But he might be like, bro, like I'm way too fucking talented to not be getting paid what the fuck I'm worth. Like, so if I have to go independent, I'll fucking do that. Like I already have a team in place. Like you're gonna hear my music whenever the fuck I want to drop it. So that's the only. I can just see him like his not a bad way, but his ego saying like, bro, you're the best. You should be paid like you're the best. That's why I can see him going like, yo, I'm gonna go independent. But yeah, I agree with you. Like there's gonna be enough people who still think like, bro, like I'm not taking that chance. Like, let me secure the bag now, and we'll figure this out when my contract is up. Which I kind of think is what happened with Migos. If you saw like, bro, this QC shit, quality control, is gonna probably be over very fucking soon because Lil Baby ain't fucking with them anymore. Yachty's fucking pissed off, and now Migos, the fucking like cash cow of that fucking record label, is like suing them because apparently, like, yo, obviously they're making great money, but like again, what they're worth and what they're making is apparently not aligned at all.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. But the thing is, I mean, whenever these situations happen, I wonder what the original contract that was signed was, and if they even paid attention to it. Because in hindsight, it always. They did not. Yeah, so it's like, imagine if someone comes to us and they're like, "Yeah, we'll sign to us or whatever." I don't even think they do this with podcasts, but let's say Joe Rogan was like, "Fuck it, I'll give you."
They do, bro. They do that.
$500,000 each a year, and we're like, "Fuck it, we're not making a penny. Why not?" And then we blow up, and all of a sudden we're raking in $40 million a year, and he's taking half, and then we get pissed off. It's like, how can you get pissed off when you were given the boost up into your position? It just so happened that things worked out, and now you're pissed off because you're like, fuck, I signed a bad deal.
Now, because the other side of it is true is that if they flopped, they wouldn't be asking, like, if the company's like, yo, give us our fucking money back, you were fucking terrible, they obviously wouldn't agree to that either, right? So I get what you're saying. Like,
I'm not mad at them, but they shouldn't. If QC wasn't in the wrong and they didn't pull anything shady, then they shouldn't be bitches about it either.
Yeah, dude, it's wild, but yeah, this independent thing is gonna catch more buzz, and I think there will be more artists who do back themselves if Drake does it, bro. Like, it's like, damn, man, if you're the biggest rapper in the game is independent, they may be like, bro, there's probably something to this. Whereas if like a Russ or a Chance, like, these guys are cool and obviously very skilled, but they're also not Drake, right? Like, I don't think Russ is a household name yet, right? And obviously Chance is cool, but like Chance isn't fucking like, he's not Drake, you know what I mean? And like, you fucking list 10 top rappers in the game right now, you be reaching if you put Chance in your top 10, you know what I mean? Like, he's just a cool dude. you know, good for him being independent, but no one's looking at that like, yo, that's the blueprint. I gotta do that. So
yeah.
Where I think if Drake does it, we're literally the best fucking rapper in the game, does that, then I do see the point of view like that will change things for that up and coming rapper who's like debating about like signing with Atlantic or going independent.
I mean, did they say when Drake would even have the opportunity to do that? 6 months. Oh shit. So damn, that's gonna be like more important than the fucking election. Where's Drake gonna go next?
Yeah, 6 months. 6 months. Yeah, in 6 months his contract is up with Young Money / Universal. So yeah, we'll fucking know. So that's.
I mean, if Joe Rogan supposedly got 100 million for that Spotify deal.
Bro, so I think he will get.
Drake will get like 500 million.
500, yeah, something wild. 250,
bro. Something.
I say minimum 250.
Yeah.
Like $250 million. And again, I agree with the premise though, right? Like, yo, we're gonna give you this money. So for the same reason, I think if he went independent, it'll set the standard. We're like, yo, we're gonna give you this money. So these other rappers assume, all right, I have to sign a deal to get this kind of money. You know what I mean? So that's why I think they're gonna just like really throw money at him, which is why I agree with Steve South from that point of view. Like, bro, these people are gonna throw a lot of money at him, so they don't think that all right, the system is fucking over with. So that's it'll be interesting, bro. Yeah, this is probably gonna be bigger than fucking figuring out where like LeBron's gonna go or KD's gonna go in basketball and shit.
Yeah, damn, that's wild.
Yeah, man. So yeah, 6 months we'll be on episode like 200 by then, and we'll be fucking raking in that YouTube money soon. So
yes, sir.
All right, man. Let's get to some fucking music real quick before we dip. Before we get into what's coming up this Friday, we spoke about Donda already. Dude, there was new Pop Smoke music. There was more Woo. At first, I legit was like, bro, like, don't do this, man. You're gonna ruin it, like. And then it dropped, and I was like, all right, cool. Because I thoroughly enjoyed the new tracks.
Nice.
Out of the 12, I think 4 of them were remixes of other songs on the original part that came out 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Some were bangers. My point of view was just like, bro, like, what? Yo, like, I thought it was gonna be like shit that could have been saved for like another album. But then I was like, bro, I get it. Like, yo, that first album was legit fire. Yeah. It's number 1. You're not going to be hotter than you are right now.
Right.
Just drop it, right? And then it was his birthday on Monday. So I was like, all right,
Makes
man.
sense.
I came around to it. But yeah, dude, it was fun. Did you get a chance to hear it at all?
I didn't. But would you say the overall tone was similar to, what was it, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon?
Yeah, no, it was a very continuous vibe of like, yo, 90s hip hop with the 2000 and, elements. Yeah, dude, it wasn't like, all right, we just gave you like 12 songs that may not go with the flow. No, it was very continuous. Dude, he has a song with Jamie Foxx. It's like a fucking like party. Yo, this shit is like.
Damn, I haven't heard Jamie Foxx on a song in forever.
Facts, bro. Like, yo, this is very well. The song that would have had Pusha T didn't have him. It's called Paranoia with Gunner and Thugger. And bro, that's good. Like, it's like. Dude, it really sounds like all these songs were done when he was alive. Like, that's like the sad part. Like, bro, you had all this shit like just waiting. Like, it's again, it's still bittersweet, but it was definitely content that I'm appreciative of, as opposed to like, you just ruined a good album by just adding this shit for like, again, whatever the bundle deluxe deals are. I know there's probably money incentive for this, but like, I wasn't mad at it, but it was actually pretty quality content that we got. It's
sad that it takes death for a lot of these rappers to just sell out and break records. Like Jadakiss said in that one song, dead rappers get better promotion. And it's like the most true statement of 2020.
Yeah, and that comment makes sense. You're looking at Juice WRLD. Dude, the highest first week debut for any posthumous album for someone who died. I think it streamed, or it's sold like 500,000 copies. The most first week streams on Spotify this year. And then he legit out of the top 10, bro. Out of the top 10, he has 5, which is fucking insane to me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think Drake has done that. Like, that is fucking crazy, man. So, yeah, dude. Kudos to him, man. Kudos to the group. I gave it more listens. Again, I stand by my thing. That song with Kid Laroi and Marshmello and Polo G. Like, that shit is just fire, bro. That's like a different. Which is funny enough, that was like the lowest ranked at all the 5 songs. I'm like, yo, am I a fucking idiot? Like this.
That was my favorite one off the album.
I was like, bro, like the other songs are fine, but to me, like, again, it was just too depressing to be perfectly.
Yeah.
I still stand by that, bro. Like it's just still like it's a depressing album on its own, and then having the actual result of how things played out were just like maybe too much for me.
For sure.
So as far as what's coming out this week, I know we're both excited about Kid Laroi. It's getting good buzz. I think it's gonna do well, considering that, you know, the buzz from him being, you know, with Juice WRLD in a couple of tracks now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that on Friday. Obviously gonna check out the Donda album.
Yeah.
Kanye West. Like again, I wonder if it's gonna be strictly again very religious music, or maybe
Political
he does like
something.
Yeah, just to see what he says. Right. Again, this may be the madness to his genius that like there's a reason we're excited for the album. But again, is there anything else coming out that you wanted to talk about real quick?
Not really. I think those were the two main ones. Super excited for Kanye. I'm just curious, like, how much it's gonna differ from like Jesus is King and the other random releases he's been putting out. But I'm sure it'll probably be some classics on there.
Yeah,
I've been quiet for too long to not have some good shit.
Quiet musically.
Quiet musically.
All right, man. So what's your heat of the week before we dip?
Heat of the week, my man Drake coming back. Well, DJ Khaled and Drake with Pop Star.
You like that one? So out of those two, Grease and Pop Star? Yeah. Nice.
Grease was kind of weird. I don't know that. I know some people fuck with that like emotional but like fly shit that he does on those songs. It kind of sounded like The Weeknd with like an Italian accent or something. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yo, that dude, I legit thought that. I'm like, yo, is this a Weeknd feature? Like, I legit didn't know if that was Weeknd. Yeah, dude, I thought
was so
the same
confused.
exact thing. Yeah.
But when it comes to Drake, I realize it's Pop Star is like, that's the kind of Drake that I like the most as far as his style and putting out tracks. Just kind of like these subtle bangers where you just talk shit for 3 minutes, nothing too aggressive. So that was my heat of the week. Looking forward to hearing more of that once he puts out his project, if he puts out stuff like that.
Dude, but it's funny you use the word subtle bangers, because I've always felt that way with most of Drake's biggest hits. Like, you like it immediately because it's Drake. But bro, in like 2 or 3 weeks, you're gonna fucking love that song, and it's like a subtle progression from you like, oh, that's cool. It's like, oh my god, this is the most fire shit out right now.
Yeah, that was kind of like God's plan. Like, I did love it when I first heard it, but now when I hear it, like, I still love it just as much, sometimes more of the recent stuff.
I'm like, turn that shit up to fucking max right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. But yeah, it's always cool when Drake and Khaled get fucking together. I can just imagine that, like, Khaled is fucking like annoying the fuck out of him. He's like, bro, I'm gonna give you 2 songs, leave me the fuck alone.
I know, I get annoyed just hearing fucking We the Best, and he just seems like that type of person who won't shut the fuck up and stop talking. And I'm sure Drake and whoever else, I mean, they're busy people, so I'm sure they make up all kinds of excuses. Like, yo, you got me for like 37 minutes, and then I gotta go.
I gotta go, bro. Like, I can't. I don't need you to hype me up, bro. I'm good. Like, let's just fucking keep it moving. But yeah, dude, shout out to that. That was, I agree. Pop Star out of the 2 were good, but I enjoyed Grease. Grease was a good vibe. And dude, for me, it's gonna be from the Pop Smoke Deluxe album, Be Clear, bro. This is like a great beat, and then dude, the way he fucking just flows on these beats is fucking remarkable to me, bro. Like, one, cause like it's nothing like I heard from his first 2 projects for me to even think he's even capable of this, and then it's good, right? It's not only different, it's actually very good. So Be Clear on the Pop Smoke Deluxe version, definitely check that out, and I'll add Pop Star and that to the Apple playlist for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to add that and check that out too. You said it was 12 tracks on his
12 new tracks, so it makes the
tracks.
entire album 34 tracks. So it's like an hour and a half worth of content.
God damn. That's like 1% of his unreleased music.
Which that's my thing. Like, my thing is like, is there going to be anything left for like a second and third album down the road, right? Because I mean, again, like, you never know, right? We get caught up in like, oh, they're out partying. But dude, at the end of the day, like, the same way we're working 9 to 5 jobs, like, they may just be recording from fucking 9 to 5, like, and that they can record like 25 songs. Yeah. And if they're doing that every fucking day for like a year, they may have like hundreds of thousands of fucking songs just like stored away, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, because I guess we think of them as people who rap like, I don't know, a week out of the year and fucking tour the rest of it, but
Right.
I'm sure they have so much free time that we don't know about, and they
Right.
half of them like have a studio or live in it basically.
Facts, bro. Like all they're doing is probably recording, right? So that's why, like, yeah, we have like so much Mac Miller music. We have, I think there's like enough for like, I think his producer said Juice WRLD has enough for like 2 more albums after this. So it's like,
God
it's
damn.
like any day, like these guys have like, yeah, dude, the thing is like, it's probably gonna be 2 more albums and like still like 20 songs each. It's like, bro,
Yep.
like, how do you have all this content?
But they don't sound, I mean, granted, I'm not the biggest fan of his style of music, but they all sound of a similar quality. So I guess I'm impressed how much shit that he was able to come up with, and that it didn't sound like it was stuff he kind of just created on a whim and was like, fuck it, let me pump out as much as I can.
Right.
But maybe it is just what the talent is being able to do that often.
Well, what's funny to me and what's surprising as well is that I just hope that they have enough like content that is done already. Because like my thing is like, I don't want to get to the point with those Tupac albums that were coming out,
no.
where it's just like, bro,
Yeah.
you know this is not how he thought this song was gonna go, and you're just
Yeah.
fucking like adding voices. Like, yo, I love the album Loyal to the Game that Eminem produced.
Yeah.
But bro, I know you genetically made Tupac say some words. I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear him saying G Unit and 50 Cent. Like, bro, there's no way he said this. So like, why the fuck am I listening to this right now?
Yeah, that's when it gets a little weird.
Yeah, so like, hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, again, shout out to them. Again, Juice WRLD's gonna do crazy numbers. And again, I think Pop Smoke's gonna have at least, if not go back to number 1, he'll probably go back to number 2 with this fucking release with the deluxe version. So
Nice.
all right, man. Anything before we dip?
Nah, I think we're good. Excited to hear those releases. We'll have some of our thoughts for next week's episode.
100%, man. All right, so episode 38, The Sunken Place in the books. As always, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere where podcasts are available. We're going to be here for a while, so we appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Later, man. Love you.
All right. Peace.